Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This episode is brought to you by KPMG. At KPMG, innovation is the go-to state of mind. Their visionary thinkers and advanced technology help you see beyond the now, uncover new insights, and turn them into opportunities. KPMG can help you leverage the value of data and drive transformational outcomes through innovation. To explore their thinking, go to kpmg.us.
I tried to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
All right, welcome everybody to a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, today we are still in season 1.
We're still in season 1, yep.
We are at episode number 9.
Of 12.
There's 12 this season?
We have 3 left, Mike. That's where we're at right now. We're at the final 3 of the season.
That's really great, though. I mean, I feel like we're really starting to pick up some steam here.
Yeah, we're getting momentum for sure. Instagram page is doing pretty good. We hit 100 followers.
By the way, you are doing a killer job with that.
Well, that was like 2 weeks, and we've got like 100 followers in 2 weeks. So
do we want to talk about the exciting thing that happened on Twitter?
Yeah, so we started a Twitter. So we now have a Twitter and a TikTok, and it's BWAAA, 3 A's, KOTH on all 3. That'll be our @ everywhere once it's everywhere, but those are the 3 places you can find it so far. So on Twitter, I created the page, and I went and followed people who were attached to the King of the Hill show. And in doing so, I posted, I had like 9 or 10 posts that I did of different memes and stuff like that. And then in the fray of creating it, I noticed, boom, you've been refollowed by Wes Archer.
Wes Archer, the lead animator.
The lead animation director, actually, of King of the Hill. And he also currently does the Rick and Morty. He's the animation director for Rick and Morty.
Oh, see, I did not know that.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. that was even sweeter.
Thanks, Wes.
Yeah, thanks for the follow, bud. We appreciate it.
I really hope you're listening. I hope that wasn't a Wes Archer bot.
No, it was actually Wes Archer. And if you are listening, Wes Archer, man, we would love to have a conversation with you. Oh my
goodness,
that'd be
just 5
phenomenal.
minutes, man. 5 minutes out of your life.
Yeah, 5 minutes. That's all I need.
We'll even take a collect call.
Yeah, collect call.
Sure.
Put the quarter in.
All right, so this is season 1, episode 9. Like we said, this is Peggy the Boggle champ.
Yep, and
this is the first time we get exposed to Peggy playing Boggle.
Yeah,
right?
This is the first Boggle exposure. And the cool thing about this episode, again, is the creators, the writers of this one are, again, the Kung Fu Panda guys. So
really?
This is another episode that they write. So I guess they do a few. But this is the only one that was directed by a guy named Chuck Sheets.
Chuck Sheets.
I like the spelling of his names because it's like the word sheet, like a bed sheet with a Z on the end. So he's
street
trendy.
smart.
Yeah, he's street smart.
Sure.
So he's best known for his animation direction and producing for The Simpsons, as well as he's done quite a bit of stuff. And he was the main director for the TV series when I was a kid. It was on One Saturday Morning, Recess.
Oh,
so he was he was the director for that whole series, for the entire series, which I thought was cool. but he's also done some of my favorites as a kid, Bobby's World, Howie Mandel's show.
Yeah.
And then he did Rocco's Modern Life, which I thought that was a phenomenal one with the Wallaby.
Rocco's Modern Life is one of those that I had kind of aged out of, but you could tell that was very much aimed at adults and kids.
Yeah, it was one of the. I feel like that for Nickelodeon especially, they had a lot of those. Like Ren and Stimpy was around this same era, So
Ren and Stimpy.
That says enough.
One of my all-time favorites. Okay, so we open this in the Hill kitchen. We've got Peggy, Min, Luann, and Nancy sitting around the table. Peggy is explaining the game of Boggle to Min. She tells her it's the whole goal is to make words out of the 25-letter cubes.
Yep.
And Min immediately sees the letters and the way they're laid out and says, Bami Tom Yam.
Yeah, Bami Tom Yam, Thai spicy noodle soup.
Yeah, they all tell her that it's not a real word.
That's not a real word, honey. Yeah.
And then we see the guys, all four of the guys, sitting in the Hill living room, and they're all watching TV while the ladies are playing Boggle. And Dale is real concerned about Nancy because she's stuck inside such a beautiful day. She should be out hanging his laundry.
Yeah. And then after that, the TV announcer comes on Sunday, and Saturday.
It's like Sunday, and Saturday. It's the 9th annual Dallas Mower Expo.
The Mower Expo.
Yeah.
Be there as the biggest names in mowers unveiled the latest grass cutting technology.
Thrilled to the spectacle of the Snapper Precision Mowing Team. See King Mulch take on Texas-sized pile of twigs. Over 10,000 oil paintings must be sold.
Yeah,
That's my favorite
oil paintings.
Part. Yeah. Don't miss out. So, and then in the back you hear Peggy, pad thai doesn't count.
Yeah.
So Peggy wins again, and she says that, Luann says, number one, the number of words that she doesn't know.
Yeah, the number of words I don't know could fill a dictionary.
Fill a dictionary, right?
Yeah.
And then they talk about, I think it's Nancy that brings up that the Elks have a Boggle tournament.
Yeah, down at the old Elk Lodge.
The old Elk Lodge, yeah. And ask her to enter, and she goes, oh, fish.
I just play for fun. And this part's funny because she hits Min up. She says, where's that 13?
Yeah, she tells Min she owes her $13. She tells, and Min, of course, thanks for the Boggle lesson. We'll play Mahjong next time. Bring your checkbook.
Yeah, and then their little caddy back and forth exchange,
Yeah, so here comes...
Oh, yeah, I got a Mahjong story.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny to even have a Mahjong story and be from Central Texas. Okay, so when I was a kid in England, my grandmother, she had done a really big trip to China, and when she came back with Mahjong. She came back with the skill of playing Mahjong, and I remember watching her and her little old biddies sitting at the table or whatever, actually playing. Yeah, the blue hairs. Yeah. Actually playing the physical game of Mahjong. So I thought that was not many people get to see a physical game of Mahjong.
There's one place here in town where that happens.
Oh, there is?
There's a lot of old ladies that show up and play Mahjong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at the King's Landing.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is that's where Butter My Biscuit is.
Yeah, I know, but I know that. My sister-in-law, shout out to Melanie. She actually, I think she's the manager or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's one of the in the kitchen or whatever.
Oh, cool.
She manages or something, some capacity.
We used to do a lot of stuff over at King's Landing with the folks over there, and that's the only reason I know that there's a lot of Mahjong players that end up there on Sundays.
On Sundays?
I believe
there you
it's
go,
Sundays,
guys.
Yeah.
Sunday. Not on Saturday.
Not on Saturday.
Yeah.
So anyway, Peggy and Hank have a back and forth about whether Boggle is still a real thing, and talking about the Elks. And Hank wants to know if whenever she tells him about the Boggle tournament, he wants to know if they still have that thing where the cows drop poop in squares.
This is a game I've never heard of.
Really?
And I didn't even...
It's a real thing?
It's a real thing. I didn't even seek to look it up because I thought it was some asinine joke for the show.
Nope.
So you're telling me
they do a giant physical tic-tac-toe, and then they trot out a cow, and the cow poops in squares.
Well, what if the cow poops in the stall before he gets out of the stall?
You're going to wait a while, I guess.
So, man, it's got to be one of the longest games.
That's right.
Okay.
And I've seen it done with like chickens and different things like that. But yeah, normally it's a cow
Wow.
coming out and pooping in a square.
I mean, how many cows do they have on standby?
don't know,
do they
man.
have like
This is not something I'm well versed in. I just know that
a
it is
slew
the
of
thing.
cows that are ready to shit on standby? That's great.
Feed that
I'm gonna
cow
look
some
this
more.
up. I'm gonna look this up on YouTube. I gotta see this in action.
It's more like bingo, I guess, because
Okay.
it couldn't be tic tac toe because cows don't shit in X's.
Yeah, so it's cow shit bingo.
It is cow shit bingo. Yeah, that's basically what
Instead
it is.
of a dauber, Grandma brings the dairy cow in with her. Yeah.
Peggy is a little off by this. She says that Boggle is a game of wits. Now, and Hank says cow bingo is a game of strategy.
Yeah, cow bingo.
Yeah.
Boggle is a game of wits.
My favorite part to this whole episode is Peggy whenever she shakes up the Boggle cubes and then throws it down and goes, "Hoo-yah!" every single time.
Oh yeah.
Every single time. Hoo-yah! Yeah, so next time we see them, they are at the Elk Lodge, and Peggy has enlisted in the tournament.
Yeah, she's shaking the
shaking
cubes
them up and
hoo-yah. Hoo-yah.
And Hank comes by.
This is funny. So Hank comes by, and of course they're at at the lodge or whatever, and he goes and does his own thing while she's there. He goes, "Well, I replaced my watch battery, ate a Cinnabon, and I bought a P-trap. I can't
P-trap.
kill any more time." So he's fulfilled his daily goals, and now he's done. He has nothing left to do.
Yeah, and they're only in round 5, says Peggy, so he has to go off and do some other stuff. But now we see the genius of Peggy Hill, Boggle Champ.
Which might be her only true express talent, you know, because everything else she half-asses or
the
thinks
Spanish teacher.
She gives her 100% effort, but it's half-assed.
Sure.
You know, it's her 100%, but it's what I would perceive as a half-assed effort. So this is like the only thing I feel like she's like 120%.
Oh, she really is.
Good at, because she just. What did she say? She says,
you
"Tote him up. Let's tote him up."
Let's tote him up.
She's got the lingo and everything.
You see the genius of Peggy coming out here in that one game. She only uses Patsy Cline lyrics.
Oh, and then there's a kid in a wheelchair, and she says, "Oh, little sick boy."
Oh, little sick boy.
Yeah. Would you like me to find your name in the next Boggle?
And then she literally finds his name, Zachary Quinn Jr.
Yeah, Zachary Quinn Jr. Yeah.
That's found in the 25 cubes.
And that's funny because purposefully there's a lot of the harder letters in there. You know, the Z, the Y, the Q, the U.
Oh yeah,
So that's funny.
She brings home her big trophy, and she has to clear off.
Huge trophy.
It is a big trophy. She has to clear off some space on the trophy wall.
Well, not anybody's trophy wall. Hank's trophy wall.
Yeah, it goes right next to his MVP trophy for football.
Yeah, and then Bobby. Hank first says, "Be careful, that's my MVP trophy."
That's right.
And then she goes and puts her trophy, and then he goes, Bobby goes, "Mom's trophy is bigger than yours." And then she goes, "Well, I don't care about the trophy. The real honor is getting to represent Arlen in the state Boggle
That's right. They're going to state. Luann is
Going to
particularly excited about her going to state.
Yeah, going to state. Just like when Uncle Hank went to state. Yeah, but they lost.
That's right. That's right. Peggy says, well, it might not be football, but there are over 200 competitors. 200 competitors coming to this Boggle tournament. I mean, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
That is a big deal. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people for
it
anything.
just so happens that it's in Dallas, where the Dallas Mower Expo is being held.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. So
it works well for Hank and the boys.
Hank in his the back of his mind starts thinking, "Oh, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here."
He's plotting.
He is plotting.
And then this is
not
a
something
common
you see
theme
from
too.
Hank very often, where he
What
plots.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not something you see very often.
Yeah.
But he does it. He does it. He always, when there's something that he wants to do, regardless of how anybody else feels, he's going to figure out a way to do what he wants to do.
Well, that's true.
Kind of like with the Alamo beer when they go to Mexico because they can't get it in the States, so they end up going.
Don't say anything. Sorry. That one's coming up.
Oh, is it?
No.
I don't even know what season that is, honestly.
But he thinks of himself as pretty clever at this point, and so he goes out and tells the guys that guess who's going to Dallas for the big mower expo.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, "Did I win? Am I going?"
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
well, boy, how'd you manage to swing that with Peggy? She don't like mowers like we like mowers.
Now, actually, one thing happens before then. Peggy is like, "Well, Hank, you can come with me," and he goes, "I don't want to go to Dallas," because he says He says, I don't want to go to Dallas. That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes.
Oh, yeah.
Half of them play for the Cowboys.
Yeah. That was one of the better lines. Yeah, that's a good one.
But then he goes out and he tells the guys that they're going to Dallas for the big mower expo. And he comes out going, Sunday. Guess who's going to the mower show? If you guess right, you can come with me. And Bill guesses, and everybody wants to go. And then we get the part where they talk about how Peggy doesn't like mowers the same.
And this is the part that I found funny right here. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're fine. This
is the part that I found funny right here is that whenever Hank does do these conniving things like that, he always makes it seem like whatever anybody else is doing is the secondary objective. So he goes, I found a boggle tournament in Dallas to keep her busy while I go to the mower show. What do you say? While we have some real fun.
That's right. Yeah, they're gonna go see those mowers. That sounds like a ton of fun.
A ton of fun.
And who knows? Maybe it's the 10,000 oil paintings that Hank really wants to see. I don't think so, but
it just depends on what kind of oil they're using.
If
it's 10W30 or
I did like Boomhauer responding to the trip to Dallas. He was Big D Motel, man. You talking about the big name in mowers, clippers? Be there, man. Man, it's gonna be fun.
Biggest names of mowers and clippers. Yeah, and then talk about road trip, Big D Motel, man. Yeah, I love it.
Then he just follows it up with, man, it's gonna be fun. So now they are on their way to Dallas. Peg and
hold on, this is funny. This is funny. So he goes whenever he's going to wake Peggy up, and he's like honking the horn and trying to get her to hurry. He goes, we got to get to Dallas before the gangs wake up.
Well, he's out there honking the horn.
Yeah,
and
laying into it.
Peggy comes out and starts shouting about how he should be quiet.
It's 4 a.m.
It's 4 a.m. Yeah. 4 a.m. they have to leave for Dallas. So how far away do they live from Dallas?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, because the Boggle thing, the check-in can't be until 8, right?
Well, I don't know. Well, that's the thing
because it's at a hotel.
The check-in could be 8.
Yeah.
But the nature of the human being could put him there an hour early.
Well, I'm also thinking Hank is one of those guys that wants to leave super early.
He's one of those ones, if he's got a flight somewhere, and they tell you to be there 2 hours early, he's there 5 hours
3 to
early.
5 hours early.
He's there as early as he can get there.
So they're going to leave. With Hank now as Peggy's coach, quote unquote coach, and they have to get a little warning to Bobby and Luann, who are staying behind because they don't want any parties while they're gone.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Can I go back to bed, Aunt Peggy?" Luann says, and then she goes, "I need 8 hours of beauty sleep," and then I got to write a paper about it.
I got to write a paper about it for beauty school. That's right. But it's real important that they can trust them. And then we get Min and Nancy coming by. They're both yawning and very sleepy because it's 4 a.m. But Nancy has a beautiful letter jacket for Peggy as part of the Arlen Boosters Club.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a NASCAR jacket.
It's got a bunch of patches. Sponsors. It's like a Letterman filled with sponsors and stuff from the local area. Yeah. And Min wishes her goodbye and good luck because where she comes from, if you don't win, you don't come back.
Where I come from, either you come home a winner or you don't come home at all. Good luck, Peggy Hill. And then she says goodbye.
Goodbye. That's right. And Peggy wants to thank Dairy King, Mr. Lube, and Riviera Sump Pumps. She's going to make them proud.
Yeah, Riviera Sump Pumps.
Riviera Sump Pumps. And Dairy King.
And Dairy King.
Not Dairy Queen.
Not Dairy Queen, Dairy King.
This is an ongoing theme you'll see throughout Hank Hill, or throughout King of the Hill, that these local places are kind of made up. So like,
I think the only one that's not, I think they have a Whataburger.
They have a Whataburger, but again, it changes throughout the series. It's called Whataburger, then it's like What's a Burger, and then it's like Water Burger or something. Yeah. So they're on their way to Dallas, and then we fast forward to old time rock and roll playing inside the house, and then we see Bobby slide in.
Oh, the risky business slide.
He's got the risky business slide, but he has no shirt, just his tidy whities and some white socks.
That's it.
He slides in, and there's Luann over in the chair watching TV, and he asks her what she's watching. She says risky business. So of course that's where the music comes from. But he does question it because risky business is full of
bad words and adult situations.
Yeah. She says, well, not this one. I rented it from Blockbuster. And she also got a tape on fire safety featuring
Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione. That's right. That's right.
That's his second appearance.
The ever-present Chuck Mangione in Arlen, Texas. She asks if he wants to watch it. He says, no, thanks. I'm in the middle of doing laundry. So that's why he doesn't have any clothes on.
Yeah, that's why he
I just like
on.
how it's all explained at this point.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so he's taken off, and she says, but remember, Chuck says always unplug your iron after use. And Bobby's like, thanks for the tip.
Thanks for the
And
tip.
the thing is, Bobby seems like it was real. Like he really took that to heart. Oh,
Yeah, he
thanks
plays
for the
well.
tip.
He always
Yeah.
plays well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's one of his endearing qualities. Is he always plays well with everybody else. He never makes anybody feel any kind of way about anything he says. He always plays along with the part.
He does do a good job.
Yeah.
Here they come, Hank and Peggy pulling up to the Dallas Grand Hotel.
Oh, and this part is hilarious. They pull up to the hotel and they got the valet scratching at the window trying to get him out of the car so they'll take it. And he goes, I don't like the looks of this one, Peggy. He's just itching to take my Chuck for a joyride.
Well, also, as soon as they come into Dallas, Hank rolls up the windows and locks
the doors.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. So she has
Crackheads and debutantes.
She has to explain to him that that valet parking is included in the price of the room. But Hank just doesn't want any part of this thing.
No, he don't want no part of it.
He doesn't want anybody in. And he's just itching to take his truck for a joyride. Like these guys just sit around all day waiting for his red truck to show up.
Yeah, it's like two guys that are in uniform vests and they got their nice, creased white shirts on and everything. And old Hank Hill, he don't like Dallas too much.
So I have been in a hotel like this. You see Hank and Peggy coming into the lobby, and I've been in a place like this where it seems like it's all glass when you go in. Like there's swans in the little fountain they got in the middle of it, and then you've got the glass elevators and all that stuff. And Peggy is just overwhelmed. She thinks it's just gorgeous.
The only valet experience I've ever had was at a hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had any hotel valet experiences.
The nice thing is that they have somebody there to meet Peggy, and they call her the Boggle Champ of Texas, or Boggle Champ of Arlen.
Boggle Champ of Arlen, yeah.
And there's people like literally applauding for her and
stuff.
stuff.
Joan, the Boggle Hospitality Coordinator.
And I like that Peggy's wearing her jacket that says Mr. Lube on the back of it.
Yeah.
But and she gives her tournament tote bag, schedule of events, and a boggle lay.
And a boggle lay, yeah. So it's just
giant letters.
Giant letters around her neck. So this is a one-time character, by the way, just for the trivia of it all. So this is
I'm sure.
One and only time you see Joan.
Little known fact, she was killed by a swan after this. She also has a pink Coach shirt for Hank.
And it's funny because Hank doesn't even stretch his arms out to take it from her. She just drapes it over his chest.
Yeah. He has a look like he's not wearing a pink shirt. It was kind of surprising to me that he didn't make a bigger deal out of it being pink.
Yeah, disgust. Yeah. And then it was funny because she goes,
you want to make a wallet.
Yeah, you want to make a wallet? You look like you could use a wallet. And then he's like, he pats his pocket. He goes, Harley Davidson already made one for me.
Made one for me. Yeah. So after that,
go
ahead.
Yeah, the walk away part. Yeah. So she goes, come on, Peggy, I've got a Parker brother I want you to meet. Which, fun fact for Boggle is a Parker brother created game.
It is. That was, Oh, see, I didn't even realize that it was.
Yeah, it's a Parker brother game.
That actually makes it better, that the fact that it is a Parker brother game.
Looking to start a business? You'll need a registered agent to receive legal notices and documents on your behalf. Look no further than Universal Registered Agents. Our team of professionals will ensure you never miss an important document, and we can even help you form your business with services like entity formation and document filing. Plus, we'll help you switch to our service for a lower cost and pay the change fees. Trust Universal Registered Agents to help your business succeed. Contact us today to learn more.
From the host of the popular podcast, The Only One in the Room, Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins is a propulsive and vivid memoir about the journey to sobriety and self-love amidst addiction, privilege, racism, and self-sabotage. Best-selling author Holly Whitaker calls it an irresistibly delicious story, and MacArthur Foundation fellow and best-selling author Kiese Lehman says Stash is emotionally riveting. Buy Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins now, wherever books are sold.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. the Bacon Ranch McCrispy. Available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Watch us fight all through the night, deep in the heart
Now we
of
flash back to Bobby sitting in the living room. He is watching that Chuck Mangione fire safety video, and you hear Chuck Mangione talking about how it feels so good to be safe. And then he puts down his glass of what I can only assume is milk on the table, and he leaves a ring.
He does.
He leaves a ring on the table.
And they kind of start to freak out about it.
Luann freaks out. What have you done? The coffee table is trashed. Your parents trusted us, Bobby, and we let them down. They won't be home for 48 hours. I'll think of something. Hey, I got it. You think of something.
Yeah, you think of
That's
something.
my favorite. Bobby's like, I'll think of something. Hey, you think of something.
And I like this next scene is another one of my favorites of the episode. So it just seems like season 1. Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
So it seems like to me in season 1, we get to see a lot of anger in Hank. And this is another one of those angry points. So Hank goes, well, I'm checking in. The name's Hank Hill. And then they keep saying, well, I have a Peggy Hill. And he said,
Right.
yeah, that's it. Hank and Peggy Hill. And he goes, I have a Peggy Hill. She's my wife. And
She married me. I didn't marry her.
She married me. I didn't marry her.
That's right. That's right. And now we've got the first sighting of our antagonist in this episode. This is before we get to that, I want to mention that Hank is very angry about being called Mr. Peggy Hill, and so he's banging on the counter, right, as he's making his points. And every time he does, the little bell rings. And because of
and
that,
all the guys are popping up behind him.
because of that, one of the guys that carries the bags, they keep showing up, and he ends up with like a dozen of them behind him or whatever. It's like,
Absolutely.
what are you looking at?
Yeah. So I got a fun fact for Sissy here. So Sissy is voiced by I would say she's a fairly popular TV actress.
Who was that?
Laurie Metcalf.
Oh, from Roseanne. Yeah.
And she was also Sheldon's mother on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, yeah.
So she is
She was
the
just
voice
in that.
of Sissy Cobb.
What was it? The Dropout. She's
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that.
yeah. She was in that. So yeah,
Yeah.
she did the
She's been in a ton of stuff. She's fantastic.
Meet the Robinsons. She was in
Yeah.
Meet the Robinsons as well.
Yeah. So Peggy is just starstruck whenever she sees Sissy Cobb, Boggle champion of Dallas for 7 non-consecutive years.
Yeah.
But Sissy comes up and Peggy is like, oh, excuse me, Sissy. I am fellow Boggle champ Peggy Hill. My, what an interesting jacket. Did you patch that together yourself? And she starts calling her Patches.
Yeah, calling her Patches. And she
What
says,
a turd this
wow,
woman is.
you're at the very beginning of a rags to riches story. I like the Southern Belle voice she's got going on, that real snob, high-class Southern.
There's such a juxtaposition, though, between her voice, like you're talking about, and then when she laughs. Because she's got this.
She does that throw her head back.
You
that,
pat your tough sever.
Yeah.
And then she goes,
like
she
throws her
laughs.
head back and does that crazy laugh.
Yeah, it's a very, very terrible, very
Terrible
terrible
laugh.
laugh.
Very
But
terrible.
she ends up calling her Patches, and Peggy is not real crazy about that. But,
Nah, not at all.
But that just plants the seeds for what comes later.
Yep.
Now we go back to Bobby and Luann
Bobby.
and their terrible, terrible thing that's happened.
So, yeah, he goes to Home Depot, and you see Bobby here sanding away at this coffee table, and he goes, well, the guy at Home Depot said, all we got to do is strip, sand, varnish, buff, varnish, buff, varnish, wax, buff.
That's right.
And then she looks at her watch, and she's like, oh, God, your parents are going to be home in
47
hours. So I want to know, like, how close Home Depot is for them to be able to go get in that hour's time frame. They've been to Home Depot.
Well, it
and
just
they've gotten
keeps
home.
getting worse for them also because of the varnish.
Yeah.
So the varnish goes rolling across the floor,
yeah.
and they both look at it like it's an atom bomb.
And they scoop it up, and it's like,
Scoop it up.
they thought they saved it, and then
One drop.
boop.
One drop comes out, hits the carpet, and they are both just, oh my God. Yeah. And then we go back to the Dallas whatever hotel, and Mr. Peggy Hill is meeting Sissy Cobb's husband. His name is Burnett, Sissy Cobb's husband coach. And then he goes, "That's actually my name." And Hank says, "Oh, you don't have to explain. I got an uncle named Leslie."
No, Burnett tells Hank
that's
that.
Burnett telling yeah.
Well, because he says he sees Peggy on his name tag. Well, hello there, Peggy Hill. And he's like, well, actually, you don't have to explain. I got an uncle named Leslie. And he goes, and the Duke himself, John Wayne, was really named Marion. And
then he goes, that back.
You take that back. Yeah.
So now we're back to Bobby and Luann trying to get the house back in shape.
Yep. They got the carpet cleaner out.
Bobby, the stain is not coming out. I'm gonna put it on high. They do that, and then the carpet cleaner.
And this I'm kind of surprised about how easy this carpet comes up. It makes me think that Hank Hill would have a better carpeted floor than that. Like it would be more secure.
It seems like an indoor-outdoor carpet.
Like something like a rug almost, like something you could pull in and out. It was kind of odd to see that.
And also the fact that the outlet started to burn.
They burnt up the outlet because it burnt up the motor on the deal, and it fried the outlet too.
You wouldn't think that Hank would have such equipment and such shoddy outlets that could be burned up like that too.
His ears are burning right now.
Oh, can you even imagine? I mean, if he was actually around, you would have nothing but trouble.
Yep.
So they walk into Hank and Peggy walk into the actual Boggle tournament.
Yeah, this line here is hilarious.
And Peggy says, "Oh, Hank, I've dreamt of this moment ever since I reached ages 8 and up."
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so Hank is now ready to take off to the mower show while she is part of this Boggle thing, and she says, "Oh, Hank, you can't leave. You're my coach. I need you. You of all people should understand. I am at state. This is my moment."
Yeah, and man, it makes Hank look like a right piece of shit. Him.
It really kind of does. Yeah,
like this is. Your wife was there for you when you were in high school. Mm-hmm. She was there. You cried on her shoulder when you lost state. Mm-hmm. You were injuries, whatever. She was always there for you. And the one time she gets to compete in something that she's actually good at, because she's not honestly very good at very many things. And he wants to go see these damn mowers instead of taking care of his wife.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, and ultimately, something happens to bring him back around. But
at the end of it all comes full circle.
She can just see herself in the winner's circle. She knows she's going to do it. She's going to drive back to Arlen with that big-ass Boggle trophy mounted to the hood of his old truck, some beautiful gold-plated, bare-breasted Rolls-Royce angel.
There you go. She's stoic.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. He can see himself on a big mower. And he can see her there, too. Like some beauty queen of yore wearing a fur coat and a gold hat.
Yeah. He struggled through that whole sentence. Up. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even know what the hell he was saying.
She is definitely giving him a look, and he goes, okay, I'll stay. So he is going to now hold her purse while she is doing the Boggle tournament, which he begrudgingly takes her purse. But he does have an out here, because now the contestants are going to go to the game floor, and the coaches have to go to the back, and they can watch the TV, the live
from the CCTV,
feed. Yeah. And then we find out that her first opponent, Peggy's first opponent, is Cece.
It happens to be Cece. Yeah, that's how, for whatever reason. I mean, for the show.
Yeah, she says, "You must be here for your Boggle lesson." I mean, this woman is a real tool.
Yeah, she is. She's a real, bless your heart kind of gal.
Bogglers, take your mark. That's what we.
Yeah.
Bogglers, take your mark.
Bogglers, take your mark. Get
now,
set.
We find out that the boys are about 15 miles away from Dallas, so they're headed in to meet Hank at this mowing convention, or the mower convention.
They're all riding up in the single cab truck.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But the game is starting now. You see Hank over in the watchers area, or coaches area, or family area, or whatever, and they're talking about they're kind of watching it, and Cece's husband is right there, and he is taking voice notes on how the letters are landing. And he says, note to self, looks like a good day for sometimes why.
Yeah.
Which I think is
that's
just
funny.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great joke.
So Hank tells him all about the mower convention and tells him how
he can ride the
for $7 or
for
$7.50 he can ride the mower that cut the
$750
grassy knoll.
Cut the grassy knoll.
Yeah, for $7.50. And then we go back to the competition.
Yep.
And Sissy has come up with the words pinata, pendant, panoply, and lobster. And then patina. Sorry. What did I say? I said pinata.
Pinata.
I wish you had said pinata.
Well, I mean, if you had dyslexia, it could say pinata.
That's true. And the only thing Peggy has been able to come up with because of her nerves is the word dang. Dang. Which is...
that laugh you were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. That, you need to add that in there on the track. Yeah.
Sissy is very adamant that dang is not a word. And so Sissy wins 73-0.
She said, that's just some backwoods patois.
Backwoods patois.
Yeah.
I don't know how these things are scored, but that seems like a lot of points for, what is it?
I'm not sure how the scoring works, but if we're going to do a tournament, we need to sit down and play Boggle one time together to figure it all out.
It's literally 4 words.
Officiate.
You got 73 points.
Yeah. Well, I think it's... I think word length has something to do with it too, and it's less about how many you get, and it's more about how many you get that are longer. So the longer the word is, the more points you get. So if you get less words that are longer, you get more points.
Yeah.
Because later on,
so it's like a Scrabble thing almost.
Almost kind of like Scrabble, I imagine. Yeah. Something similar.
So Peggy takes this pretty damn hard. She's just crushed by the fact that she lost 73-0.
Oh, yeah, she hates it because, I mean, look at her. She mopped the table with everybody at the Arlen place.
Yeah, she can spell sick kids' names.
Patsy Cline lyrics.
She keeps talking about how stupid she is, and Hank is just trying to reassure her in his best Hank way.
Heck, you're smarter than me.
Oh, big deal. Well, you're smarter than anyone else in Arlen. Well, whoop-de-doo. I'm the smartest hillbilly in Hillbilly Town.
Yeah. Oh, so this is my favorite scene here. Yeah. So Hank, being emotionally stunted, she asks, he said, he tells Peggy, sorry, I'm trying. Coach said something that would fire us up when we were behind. And she's like, well, yeah, what? He goes, loser, you're a loser. Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you're a dirt. You make me sick, you big baby. Baby want a bottle? A big dirt bottle? And she's just crying.
She's like, why are you yelling at me?
I'm trying to be your coach. It's inspiring.
Well, thank you, because I feel worse than ever.
And then he goes, well, it worked for the team. And she said, no, it didn't, because you went to state and lost. She punched him right in the nuts on that one.
Hank's like, well, it looks like I need one of those $8 beers.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in Dallas, expect to pay anywhere from $8 to $16 for a beer at any venue.
Oh, yeah. So they come in.
While you're drinking your $8 beer, beware of crackheads and debutantes.
That's right.
And the Cowboys.
Which can be both.
Can be both.
They're going back into the tournament for the second round, and Peggy is very upset. She's like, yeah, I am a loser. I'm 255 out of 256, and he's trying to reassure her again.
Yeah, his own way.
You're smarter and you're better than. He looks at the list, and it says Boggle playing chicken. So now Hank gets her purse.
Yep.
And the coaches have to clear the floor. And she starts playing, like she really starts playing,
she gets into her groove.
Yeah, it kind of feels like her nerves start to drop because she has literally started at the bottom to play the worst one, which is the Boggle playing chicken.
Yeah, she plays the chicken.
Yeah.
And then she congratulates them on a good game after.
She says good game, and then it pans over, and it's the chicken.
And the chicken is just sitting there pecking the Boggle thing.
Yeah, and then the boys are there asking Hank, why can't we go on? Let's go to this mower show. We got to get to the mower show. 2 days ago, you were like a little boy. You were so excited, and now you're like some purse-holding man or whatever. And he said, we got to get to the mower show. And Hank, with a little bit of peer pressure, he gives in and he's like, okay, screw it, let's go. And they do end up going to the mower show.
Yep.
One of the first things they see
hold on.
Yeah.
Before they go to the mower show, it's funny because the way they're egging Hank on, they're like, Well, which isn't Hank? Sorry, hold on. He goes, 2 days ago, you were like a little boy all excited about the mower show. Now you're this strange man holding a purse. Which isn't Hank? Are you some kind of man or are you a little boy? And he said, I'm still a little boy, damn it. And I'm still excited about going to the mower show. And then all this peer pressure, he's just like, well, you know what? Let's go.
That's what gets them there.
Yeah.
Before they see the first thing, you see a shot of the mower show. And one of the funniest parts is the announcer on the PA over says in booth 5, the blade from Sling Blade.
The blade from Sling Blade.
So the boys are...
Yeah, some people call it Sling Blade. I call it a Kaiser Blade.
That's right. It's a Kaiser Blade, yeah. Biscuits and mustard. So they end up at the mower show.
Liberace's mower, no flash photography, and it's like studded out. Diamond studs everywhere.
Yeah, and it says no flash photography, so of course Dale takes a flash photography.
And boom,
and it's just everywhere.
Brilliant light. Yeah.
That's right, just light comes from everywhere. We go back to Bobby and Luann still vigorously trying to get rid of stuff. They have hired all of these workers. There's got to be like 10, 12 workers in their house.
Oh, yeah.
Now.
They got a whole contracting company.
Redoing the carpet, the whole thing. I don't know where they got the money for this.
Well, Bobby funds this. So Bobby says, are you sure you can get that ring out? And this is just a ring on the table. This isn't the compounded issues from them trying to fix everything. He goes, well, I can't afford any more screw-ups. I just spent my last dollar on deodorizing carpet sealants. Whatever the hell that is.
Well, and Bobby also has a little bit of a breakdown here. He yells at the guy coming across with the paint. He says, what is that? Eggshell white? It's got to be Swiss coffee.
And see, this really shows like different talents that Bobby has, because you see this throughout the series.
Oh, yeah.
You see all these weird little talents that he has, and I want to think it's because of Hank. Because how would he know anything about carpet sealant?
I think
how
it shows both sides, because like he knows about carpet sealants from Hank, but he knows about the Off-White versus Swiss coffee from Peggy probably.
Well, I wouldn't even say it was from Peggy, probably from TV.
It could be.
I wouldn't imagine Peggy would be too wrapped up in interior design.
I don't know. She kind of strikes me as that woman who went to a lot of the what was the home goods thing you used to be able to buy? You'd go to the like it was almost like a Tupperware party at somebody's house, but it was home stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Avon.
No, but it was the same kind of thing.
Same kind of concept.
They
like
would
Avon,
have these
Tupperware.
parties, but it was home decorations, right?
Yeah,
and
the sex toy parties, all those kind of things.
It wasn't sex toy. What I'm thinking of, there were a lot of like butterflies you hang on your wall and shit like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It was all of that stuff.
Yeah,
it was all home goods.
Yeah, home goods.
And I can imagine Peggy going to a lot of those kind of parties.
Yeah, I could see her doing something like
Pampered Chef, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I could see her do that stuff.
Things,
I could see her even participating in pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I can see her getting an Amway pretty quick.
Yeah, it's like the friend from high school that you haven't talked to in like 10 years messages you, oh, hey, will you support my business?
Very much so. Very much so. So Hank is at the mower show with the boys, and everything is starting to remind him of Peggy. He sees a kid with one of those little pop things going across the floor.
Yeah, the mower.
And he sees it as Boggle cubes.
Yep.
Later on, there is a timer, and he sees it as the sand running out of the hourglass. Yeah, for the timer. And then I think it's Boomhauer is on the VR mower. He's got this giant headset on, and he's sitting on a mower.
And that's one of those things that we discussed before, where they're showing things, like kind of like a precursor to the future of what we're living in right now.
Absolutely.
So there is a mowing simulator. And you could play the mowing simulator now.
The funny thing is, you can tell what time this technology was, though, because everything is like those vector graphics. It's not real.
It's like the Nintendo VR that they came out with, the Nintendo Boy or whatever it was, the Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy, you're right. Yeah. It was a thing like that. But they start talking about how fun this is, being at this thing, and as Peggy is starting to win some of these games off at her thing, Hank is over at the mower show, and he's starting to see all the Peggy stuff.
And then Boomhauer makes that comment.
Boomhauer is on the thing.
Yeah, dang, somebody pick up that dang old rock. I tell you, I hadn't had this much fun since our last football road trip.
Well, and it's Bill that starts saying, I remember, that big football road trip. Even old Peg was there, and rooting us on, and then again,
cheering her heart out when we were down 28-0.
Yeah, and then once again, Hank is like, yeah, I remember. She was cheering her heart out, all that. He's really starting to feel bad about the fact that he's not there for Peggy.
Yeah, and then
He pulls out that shirt, too.
Yeah, that pulls out that shirt. And then you hear Boomhauer still on the headset. Man, this dang old piece of crap, dang old blocked up. Get the grass out. There it is. And he goes, I ain't got no fingers.
It shows the VR version of his hand.
And he got no fingers on, yeah.
And so the next round is ready to start, and Peggy's looking for Hank.
Can't find him.
No, because he's not there. Yeah.
Nope.
And then we see
she says he's probably just filling my rosin bag.
the next comment is he's probably too embarrassed to be here, and it's Sissy off screen because she is she's having to take her on next.
Yep.
So
that's the finals.
Peggy has worked her way all the way up to
Peggy,
the finals.
aka
now.
Patches, aka Boggle Champ of Arlen.
Yep. That's right, Patches. Looked like it's you and me in the finals. And so then she gives that horrible laughter.
Terrible laugh.
Yeah. And so what we don't realize is this is being broadcast, this whole Boggle Championship. It is being broadcast on this is the Texas State Boggle Championships, and it's being broadcast live from the Dallas Grand Plaza Hospitality Channel.
Yeah.
The announcers, I am Brent Steele, and with me is Boggle Grandmaster Alexi Gorgon.
Yeah.
So they are talking about how great bogglers are playing, and all of that, and then they get started on their round. And Hank is still not there, but we're down to these two having the Boggle tournament to the death, basically.
Yes, that's what it is.
This is the biggest thing.
It's the big show.
Yeah.
This is state, if you will.
This is state. Yeah, this is state for her.
All right, it's going to be best of 3. I want a clean game. No foreign words, no foreign objects. Shake. They make it sound like it's about to be an MMA match over a boggle.
Yeah, and Peggy is she's really pining for Hank at this point because she could really use the support.
Oh, Hank.
Yeah, she could really use the support. We go back to the announcers, and the announcers are talking about Peggy and how she's hesitating.
Yeah.
It's costing her some 4-letter words.
Absolutely. And at this point in the background, you have a Eye of the Tiger type guitar riff going in the background, like a champion song in the background. And it builds and builds and builds. You can feel it building up until she actually, Hank shows up, and then she, goes on to win. But this is one of my favorite parts here. So the announcer, she breaks her pencil and she goes, "Oh, there goes Peggy Hill's pencil." And then the other guy goes, "With no coach, she's really at a disadvantage." And then she grabs the pencil and starts chewing on the pencil to sharpen it. And he goes, "Incredible. What a scrapper. What a save."
And that's when Peggy really starts going. She starts looking for those words, and she starts just writing down furiously.
Yeah, and these words are like daggers.
Yeah. She writes down sad and abandon and words like that because
bad man,
because it's Hank. He's gone. Yeah. Next thing we see is Hank is rushing in because Peggy is way far behind. He sees it on the closed circuit television because he comes running in. He knows that he hasn't been there to support, and they are going into the final round. And again, the announcers tell us how far behind Peggy is. And Alexi says Peggy is down to her last pencil.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the way that Alexi says pencil.
Pencil.
Every time he says it, it's pencil.
Pencil.
Everything rides on this pencil. And so the announcers are like, I think it's all over for Peggy Hill. And then finally, Hank comes running in, and he is there with the last pencil.
And then she says, "Where the hell have you been?" And he goes, "Well, it doesn't matter where I've been. I figured out where I should be."
That's right.
Which is Hank again. That's a Hank. Very hanky.
It is a very hanky type thing to do. Yeah. But
and then he goes, "Well, now let's show them how we play Boggle in Arlen." Like it's
whatever you say, Coach. Hoo-yah!
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then that's when the music
and Hank's wearing his pink shirt and the whole thing. Yeah, he is all in at this point, right? Because it's competition and it's his wife.
Yeah, and then so
But I love when she says "hoo-yah." She's got like pencil all in her teeth.
Yeah, shout out to the Ho Yeah podcast too.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But I just love the fact that she's got all the pencil in her teeth whenever she smiles at
Oh,
him.
she smiled. She's got all the
She's got a
graphite
whole
and
bunch
yellow
of-
chunks
that's
all in
right.
her teeth. Yeah.
Got a whole bunch of pencil in her teeth. And so they are down to the last thing, and Peggy Hill is riding up a storm.
Yeah.
So this is the announcers just back and forth, back
But
and
will
forth.
it be enough?
Will it be enough?
And then she reads out caviar, chinchilla, and harpsichord. And
Now,
what
this
Lexi
is
says
this
kills
is
me.
just what's her name? This is just Sissy.
Yeah, that's her. That's
Sissy
only.
has so much confidence in herself that she only does these 3 words.
And then he goes, she wrote harpsichord, but not harp and not chord. A very bold
Very
gambit.
bold gambit. That's right. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see what happens. And then we get to Peggy, and Peggy has written all of the small words.
Mm-hmm.
So if she wrote the word fish, she also had fishes. If she wrote chum, churns, apron, aprons, I mean, she has just written this entire list of words, but she's come up 1 word short because she needs 10 points.
And it's funny how she does this because she had that backwards patois with dang.
Mm-hmm.
So she has the last word covered up because she only needs 10 more points to beat Sissy.
That's right.
So she has this word partially. You can see she's got her thumb over some letters, and then they look at it and she goes, "Well, ain't is not a word. I win." And she goes, "It ain't."
That's right.
Sissy Cobb. I like how she says her full name. It ain't Sissy Cobb. The word is acquaintanceship, as in, it was not my pleasure to make your acquaintanceship. I win.
That's the true Peggy Hill we know.
That's the
right
true
there.
Peggy
Yeah.
Hill.
And so time runs out. Peggy wins. She's gotten this giant. Trophy, and it's Sissy Cobb, Sissy Cobb, who is being yelled at now by her coach and being called a loser.
Yep.
So she is the big loser, and
Feeling sorry for yourself? Yeah.
That's
Are you feeling
right.
sorry for yourself?
You know what? You should be. And so the announcers go back. They have to turn the channel back over because the Boggle Championships are over.
Yep.
And they go back to now a description of the hotel fire safety procedures with Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione. There he is again.
But now we're back to Peggy and Hank. They are
Peggy
really,
and Pank.
they're in a really good place now because he was there. She's in the winner's circle, and everything turned out great.
Yeah.
And so they are headed back to Arlen. Big winners.
Big winners.
Big winners. And so the next thing we see is that Bobby and Luann are there at the house.
Well, you know,
and
hold on just a second. So this is the thing that bugs me is it kind of leaves it hanging right here. He goes, there's something Coach said he would do if we ever won the big game.
That's right, and he kissed her.
And that was it, and he kissed her, and that was the end. Like, he didn't explain whatever it was.
I took it as that the coach was going to kiss him if they won the big game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, you see the tape has come off on his butt, and it says Mr. Peggy Hill.
Yeah, Mr.
Which
Peggy
is
Hill.
fantastic. Yeah. And then we roll the credits, and this is one of those after the credit scenes, which we don't get very often with these guys.
Yep.
But it's back at the house in Arlen, and Bobby and Luann have all of these workers in there, and they're just trying to finish up because the parents are going to be home anytime now. Here they come through the door. Here comes Hank and Peggy, and they are so upset because they've got
Pissed.
all these kids here for this party.
Yeah, pissed. It ain't even a party, but they're pissed because that's what they assume it is. And Hank comes in.
But everybody is in like worker outfits.
Yeah,
and
they're
stuff.
all in like khaki pants and you know,
they're all in like work shirts
flannel
and hats,
shirts.
and they got tool belts on and stuff. And Hank just assumes it's a party, and so
that's Hank's kind of party. Is
That's
a,
true.
A bunch
That's
of dudes
true.
with tools.
And so he gets everybody out, and then at one of the last one, he talks about how irresponsible he is. Don't you know you got school tomorrow?
Yeah.
And that is it. That's the end of the story. Everything turns out well. I'm assuming the house was back in good shape.
Oh yeah. It
They
seemed like it was good contractors.
there was a lot of them.
A lot of them.
They won, and Bobby and Luann got everything back together, but now they're grounded. Just a really good showing from everybody here. I
was a
felt
great
like
episode. I really like this one.
yeah, I just like the ones where Hank tries to be a little selfish and then gets his comeuppance, and it's all from his own conscience.
Like
you
the
know?
like the one with Luann where
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
where he was trying to find a boyfriend for her with the big old football hunk.
Absolutely, but he
Yeah.
ends up, he loves Luann, and
Yeah.
just can't come out and say
You just
it.
can't come out and say it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, that's what it is. It's just Hank battling with what he wants to do and battling with the actual feelings that he has for whoever, whether it be Peggy, Luann, Bobby.
Very true.
That was a good episode.
It was a very good episode. All
Yeah.
right. Well, join us again next time, and we will be on season 1, episode 10, on our way to 12.
Yep. Don't forget to share, like, and follow on all the socials,
That's right.
Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok.
At BWAAAKOTH.
Yep. Bwah.
Bwah.
KOTH. The Rewatch Podcast.
That's right. That's right. And just remember, oh, little sick boy,
Wimitanye.
Wimatanya.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.